hands. But as for the present, it's on to our first turbo test, the Ford Thunderbird Turbocoupe. Now, about a year ago, Ford hatched this highly restyled Thunderbird, and in one fell swoop, they took the lead in aerodynamic styling of American cars. And while this was enough to attract a whole new gaggle of middle-aged luxury coupe fanciers, it wasn't enough to appeal to younger, performance-oriented taste. So Ford added the clause of turbocharged power, a well-thought-out handling package, and distinctive trim. All, by the way, at a less than astronomical price of $12,330. So, will this bird ruffle a few competitors' feathers? Well, let's take a flyer for a few answers. The first things you notice about the Turbobird's exterior are the blacked-out headlight bezels, nicely recessed Marshall fog lamps, and the unique aluminum wheels. They all add even more sporting flavor to the handsome, rounded fenders that were already devoid of the traditional plague of Detroit overchrome. The heart of the matter is a turbocharged, multi-port, fuel-injected variant of Ford's venerable 2.3-liter overhead cam four-cylinder. Ford has spent the bucks to design a well-thought-out yet simple blow-through turbocharger installation. It gives better throttle response than conventional systems that pull air through a carburetor. The rear drive chassis, very loosely based on the Fairmont, includes an unusual quadra-shock rear suspension. Here, an extra set of tube shocks are mounted horizontally to the chassis. The result is better stability of the solid axle during both acceleration and cornering. That effort is aided by Goodyear Eagle HR tires, an important switch by Ford from Michelin for its high-performance rubber. The standard Thunderbird was already the best handling of its namesake ever. But this fresh combination of lightweight power, complex suspension, and sticky treads puts the Turbo T-Bird another leap ahead. The Bird is no longer at home just on endless interstates. With its mostly flat cornering and extremely fast steering, the car yearns to lean into gradual, twisty country lanes. At speed, handling is precise and instantaneous. Only the fact that the power rack and pinion is overboosted and lacks sufficient road feel deters even more spirited driving. The combination of firm but not harsh ride with little roll shows that Ford has studied its foreign competition well. But though they have learned a few things, they're not yet ready to go to the head of the class. While the T-Bird sticks like glue on familiar paths, the limits of adhesion can be reached suddenly in quick, evasive maneuvers. The light rear end is overly sensitive to any rapid jerks of the steering wheel. Yet when it does break traction, stomping on the accelerator will regain control after leaving you white as a sheet. Still, since the Turbobird handling is such a huge step forward for an American luxury coupe, we're sure Ford is already hammering away at every last kink. We have no complaints about the acceleration that 145 horsepower provides 3,200 pounds of mass. Our very fresh car delivered a sound 0 to 60 time of 10.2 seconds. We have driven a higher mileage prototype that managed the same test in just 9 seconds. The turbo comes on strong at around 2,500 RPM and does a good job of making those four cylinders work like a V8. The fine 5-speed gearbox provides sure, if long shifts, and a quarter-mile sprint of 17.2 seconds at 82 miles per hour. So even if you never try anything illegal in the Turbo Thunderbird, you should still be able to pass that slow traffic with confidence. A 40 to 55 mile-per-hour burst took a scant 4 seconds in third gear. We also think highly of the power front disc rear drum brakes. Our T-Bird stops straight and sure from 30 miles per hour in a better than normal distance of 37 feet with no lock or fade. But from 55, panic halts produced a few more dramatics. First tries usually resulted in some rear-wheel lockup and unpredictable swing. Yet as the brakes wore in and grew hotter, lock and swing disappeared. The Turbobird has an excellent brake pedal feel and is, again, along the path of what we think of as Germanic quality. At 55, short stopping distances averaged 123 feet. Since the standard T-Bird we tested last year did even better with the same system, we suspect, again, any shortcomings were due to the lack of mileage on this test car. Interior appointments are also the same as the base Thunderbird, but do include some notable improvements. All Turbobirds come with multi-adjustable bucket seats that are supportive without being overly hard. The wide dash is dressed in the brushed metal style. Fortunately, you don't get the cheap-looking plastic wood found in the more pedestrian species. A 4-spoke performance steering wheel protrudes before an instrument cluster that's hardly complete, but does include a full-range tachometer and turbo boost warning lights. The tach will come in more than handy with the revised 5-speed shift pattern. Reverse gear is down and to the right. On all other 5-speed Fords we've seen lately, reverse is high and on the left, making it easy to confuse it with first. And since the top gear is in overdrive, you might expect the good EPA mileage ratings of 21 city and 33 highway. Our test loop of 24 was about as expected. While Ford is putting a lot of advertising emphasis on the quality of its products, they are also trying to attract the performance buyer that wants sophistication to boot. To broaden their attack, all the Thunderbird's fittings can also be had on the Mercury Cougar, with a resurrection of the once famous XR7 designation. So those that prefer notchback styling can also enjoy this progressive combination of power and handling. As for the future, well, we'd like to see the rear suspension refined even further for more quick-turn security, and a full gauge package is a must. But along with high-performance variants of the Escort, Lynx, EXP, Mustang, and Caprice, the Thunderbird Turbocoupe shows Ford's commitment to building cars for world-class motoring.